The first, Reorganization Committee for the proposed consolidation of Richland Township and the town of Ellettsville is called to order. Would anybody like to lead a prayer and pledge?
I will.
Okay. Stand please.
Want to do the pledge first or prayer first?
Prayer first.
Prayer first. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this season. We thank you for the camaraderie in both the town and the township. We pray that this would be done in accordance with, that the meetings would be conducted in accordance with your will, and that everybody will be civil and friendly and love on each other. We pray this in Jesus' name for his sake and his glory. Amen.
Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I guess I will ask our attorneys who've researched the process for this, what are our first steps of...
Want to introduce him?
Yes. This is Darla Brown. She is the town of Ellettsville attorney. You want to introduce her?
And Eric Cook is the Richland Township attorney. Well, Eric and I had a conversation this morning, and we kind of came up with a list of things that the board might want to discuss at its first organizational meeting. So I believe everybody has a copy of the preliminary timeline that was presented by Baker Tilly. And if you don't, let me know and I can make sure everybody gets a copy of that. But I think the first thing the board needs to discuss is how you want to conduct your meetings going forward. And I mean that in the broadest possible sense, because I think you have discretion on how to do this, whether you want to meet weekly, bi-weekly, in the evenings, during the day, here at the township offices, in the fire department training room if it's available, in the Ellettsville Utilities office, how you want to handle your meetings. If you're going to have an agenda, who's going to take responsibility for posting the agenda and or the notice of meeting 48 hours in advance? Do you want all of your meetings to be recorded or live streamed on CATS or through, do you want to set up somebody who knows more than this about this than me could help you, like a special YouTube channel for this, or how you want to get information out to the public? Do you want to have public comment at meetings? If so, do you want to set time limits? Do you want to allow public comment at every meeting, every other meeting, once a month? And I think there was some suggestion at some point that maybe some of the board members meet with some of the individuals up in Sheridan and Adams Township to discuss with them generally how their reorganization went and maybe to get some ideas from them. So, and then I believe maybe there was also some discussion about picking a seventh person so that you have a seventh member on your board.
So what's the board's pleasure? I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to run this meeting, I'm just trying to, instead of all of us looking at each other.
I'd like to meet every other week, twice a month.
I would agree.
And I think to do it here and do it before your meetings, before the council's meetings, and that way if anybody wanted to be present, then they could be here. And be present for the council meetings too.
I have had the public request a later time because 5 o'clock, a lot of people are just getting off work, which obviously that wouldn't work for Mondays because town council's at 6:30. And we also have the Regional Development Commission traditionally here at 5 o'clock on Mondays, the first of the month.
First of all, how's everybody feel about 2 weeks?
I'm good with 2 weeks.
I'm good with 2 weeks.
Yes. And I would say that with an adjustment, if we find out we're getting a lot of information that we need to meet more, or we're in an information lull,
Then
you know,
spread it
I
out.
like seeing you guys, but I don't know if we all just want to meet and say we have no business, but I think it's important for the public to know we have a schedule. So 2 weeks are agreed upon, it seems like.
Sure.
take any votes, we need a secretary to tally the votes. So,
Well, I know who I'd nominate for secretary.
Is it the guy writing things down?
would you be okay with that, Andrew?
Sure.
All right. Actually, should we introduce ourselves to the public?
Sure.
Start down there with Mike.
The one, the only, the renowned.
Yeah, sure. I'm Mike Cornman, lifelong resident of Ellettsville.
My name is Andrew Henry. My wife and I and our 5 kids live here on the east side of Ellettsville. I own and operate a small business over in Spencer. I've been in the Bloomington area since I moved here in 2002.
My name's Kevin Ferris. I've been here since 1998 with my 2 sons, their wives, my 9 grandchildren, of course, my wife. And we're also business owners here in Ellettsville.
William Ellis, served on the town council, moved here in 2014, started serving on the council in 2019, had a small business for a while in Richland Plaza. Still running out of my home now, so I guess technically still a small business in Ellettsville.
I'm Dawn Journal. I have lived here since before I was a teenager. Grew up in Ellettsville and currently live within the township. We raised our 2 boys here, and I am a registered nurse, but am also a massage therapist and homeopath with my own business.
I'm Scott Reynolds. I was born in Indiana, but I've lived in Monroe County since 2009. I'm a resident of Richland Township, just a couple miles outside of Ellettsville. Small business owner, lawyer, person who raises wild grasses on my property. A lot of different things, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right, so I would recommend that we take a vote on the 2 weeks, just to get it on the record. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Sure.
Okay. So, Andrew, if you want to call a roll call, and start with,
Who makes the motion and then seconds it before we call the
Yeah.
vote?
all right. Who wants, any?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All right.
Okay. And the motion is that we meet 2 times a month, or is it every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay, so Mike,
Yes, 2 weeks.
my vote is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Yes. William?
Yes.
Dawn?
Yes.
Steve?
So yes.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so the next thing is what day? I broke this up in case they both don't align. Just a thought. So I guess I should ask, Mike, what evenings is this chamber free?
It's usually open almost all weekend.
Well, I know the plan commission meets, we have BZA meetings.
Plan
Parks.
commission meets second Thursday.
First.
First Thursday. BZA is the second Wednesday.
Okay,
Now, are we starting this 2 weeks, so it'll be the first week of January?
yeah, I would think so. Would you guys, starting in January? I'll throw that out. What's Tuesday feel like to everybody?
Tuesdays and Thursday evenings be tough for me.
Okay.
Generally, Thursdays are usually okay. Tuesdays, I have at least 1 monthly commitment that I can't move.
Okay. So Wednesday, what was that, Denise, again, for the BZA?
Second Wednesday.
Well, if we could leapfrog over a Wednesday, how does Wednesdays look for?
When, is that the first week of January, your next meeting?
BZA is the 14th, the second Wednesday.
So if we did the first, I'm
So
gonna
it'd be
skip.
So it'd be the 7th would be the first one.
I'm available.
Okay.
Then it'd be the 21st, so we'd miss theirs.
Wednesdays
The
are generally
7th,
good for
January
me.
7th, and then starting a 2-week cycle?
Yeah, that would work.
I'm trying to get into my calendar because it's a new phone.
Been there.
So that consensus is
She's double
Wednesdays.
checking. Scott, were you good with, yeah? Jeff, does anybody object to me kind of corralling this today? I mean,
Nope.
we can,
First
anybody can
meeting.
chime in, there's no.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So we would be meeting every 2 weeks on Wednesday with an eye to not conflicting with BZA.
That's correct. And this should prevent that because it would be the
First and third.
first and third Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say yes because I can't get it.
Okay. All right. And the time.
I'm in favor of moving it later to make sure it's accessible to as many members of the public as possible.
I agree. Should we hear from the public on what time?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
don't
that.
we?
Any public chime in on the time that would be good for us to meet? 6? Okay. I see a 6.
Second.
Okay. All right. So 6 o'clock first, all right. I'll make a motion to, that we will be meeting every 2 weeks, 6 o'clock on Wednesday.
All right, Mike?
Yes.
Oh, so did it get seconded?
Nobody seconded yet.
1 second.
Kevin seconds it. All right, Mike?
Yes.
Me, yes. Kevin?
Yes.
William?
Yes.
Dawn?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So what you think the next thing on our,
A discussion about who's going to be responsible for the agendas and who posts them might be a good job for the secretary.
I'm not good with agendas generally. I would prefer if someone else would take that responsibility.
all right,
Can you get that out?
Yes, we'll get the notes from the meeting out.
okay.
And who will maintain the website and where is information about the meetings going to be posted? I assume you're going to post them on both the town and the township's website. But
Yeah, and Mike, I have no access to none of us here have access to the town website. So what process do you want to do for that?
Well, if we could get a list of everybody's email, we can get access to you tomorrow.
Okay,
Is that what you want?
that sounds great.
Yep.
Or,
If somebody else could, if him or somebody from his office could do it.
I don't
My
know.
wife's got to retrieve my emails for me.
Okay. I
As
don't,
long as we have a routine for supplying the information to you well in advance, would it be difficult for somebody from the town to post it if we provided it?
It will not. We also have people that do some of our public relations, and we can also have them handle it as well.
Okay,
So we can make sure we get out to as many people as possible.
great.
okay. All right, so that we can do. All right. So what was next?
Well, is that the way you want to do it?
Well, I'm good with that. Well, since one of us needs to get it too.
What about you guys? Does that sound good to you guys?
I'm good with that.
I think it's fun.
I mean, we can,
If I may, so if we put it out on the website and make public notices through Facebook and perhaps High Neighbor, we also can send it out. We have a large email address, we can send it that way via email as well, and it goes to the local media and county governments and
I have a question.
such.
Do we have to post it to the same places that the township have already designated that they would give notices to, like annually that they do?
I would, yes.
okay,
You want to explain that for them?
Each year, the township have to notify the public where they're going to post their information in and who to. And then you can be on that list as well. So if you're already on that list, then that's who they're going to get. I mean, we do others too, but that's the minimum we have to do as recommended by Darla, is to keep it the same what the township do. So already, they usually do it the first of the year or somewhere. I think it's around the first of the year, so.
with that, how long before the meeting do you think would be reasonable to get an agenda to you?
Well, for a Monday meeting, like we have tonight for the regular
be Wednesday,
scheduled board, it's, we send it out on a Thursday afternoon, so.
Okay, so Wednesday,
I guess middle of the week.
So if, I mean, it's
So
up
it'd
to
have
you,
to
but
be at the
if we send
latest.
it out on Friday, everybody would be notified before the next Wednesday. It's
okay.
entirely up to you what you prefer. So long as we have the agenda, we can send it out whenever you're ready.
From this board here, who would like to be the point of contact to get to the town for the agenda? I'll volunteer for that.
Okay.
So if there's an agenda item you want to discuss, just let me know and I'll put it on the agenda. And I'll send it out to you guys first to make sure we didn't miss anything or whatever before we get to the town. And township, obviously. Township-wise, how will that be done?
I do not have access to the website or the Facebook page, but the Samantha, our office manager, is happy. She told me that she would do anything with that we
Okay.
need, so I can just keep her updated and send everything to her.
Okay. All right.
And as far as meeting minutes recorded at each meeting, submitted to everyone here on the committee for review and then approved at the following meeting?
Yes. And when we set up, if we do a Zoom, does the transcribing from that, is that accurate enough for us to have minutes sent out? I'm not familiar enough with the platform to know. Do you know?
You're talking about the OWL transcription?
Yes.
I think it's pretty good most of the time.
But if we're reading and approving and we can catch any
Correct.
glitches, okay. So I would suggest we definitely have this on Zoom.
That's what, I would like to have the meetings recorded for sure. The question though is, how detailed do we want the minutes? Do we want it to be only moved, seconded, and acted motions, or is it gonna be a general list of everything
That's
that's
a good
happened and discussed?
question for you two. What do you suggest?
I think you generally probably want to put a little more detail in the minutes than the actual motion and the vote. I think it's, at least with the town council minutes, I know the clerk tries to put a synopsis of the discussion in.
Okay.
So I think that's appropriate.
Okay. Is it expected that all names of members of the public who speak are included in the minutes?
Typically, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd ask them if that's okay with the public.
Yes.
Because if they don't want their name mentioned, but they still want to say something.
But it'll still be recorded, though.
It's
You said-
going to be public. It's a
Yeah.
public meeting.
Yeah, and they'd have to give their
And they have to
name,
sign,
name and address.
yeah. I mean, I would say if somebody from the public really does not want their name, I mean, we can take that on a case-by-case
Sure.
basis. But understand that if it's on Zoom, and right now, like this is being on CATS, it's out there. So all we can do is control the minutes here, so that expectation. All right. So we've decided that,
Seventh member.
yes. Should we discuss the seventh member now? Because that's,
How many people threw their hats in the ring?
Mike, how many total we have?
Pardon?
How many people total did we have for the town, do you know? Through their hats that applied for the Reorganization Committee?
Here we go again. I think I had 22 names, but some of them were redundant.
I thought it was
because
22.
I was just taking them as I got it, as I received them. About 25.
Okay,
And I will point out that some people applied via email. So we have 2 or 3 of those that applied, so. they actually applied.
And what's the pleasure of us, how we want to handle the 7th appointment?
I guess first of all, we want a 7th appointment, right?
We have to have one, yes.
Tiebreaker.
And if the Sheridan Adams merger plan, which is what I've been looking at, kind of, they use someone kind of that is not part of the town, not part of the township. They use somebody from their school system.
That makes sense. So I know, was it school board superintendent?
Dr. Jerry Sanders, yeah, he's expressed he doesn't have the time commitment. He was on our list and I think the town council had talked about, I said I'd nominate him, but when I had conversations with him later, he said, I really don't think I can do it, time-wise.
Well, didn't you say that? Didn't we all say that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay, what about,
Did you talk to Dr. Ship?
Yes, he's willing to. That's the only one I had reached out to.
Dr. Stephen Ship, he's the headmaster at Seven Oaks School.
You're hard to hear.
Sorry.
All right. So, I guess first, how do we want to handle the 7th appointment? Do we want to vote on it? Do we have to vote on it at this meeting, or can we do it at our next meeting?
If you wanted to wait, I think you can.
Okay. Did we want to take more applicants for this position? Or,
well, if we're gonna do somebody from the school system, has anybody talked with anybody else that showed any interest?
no,
I've not.
I've only talked to Dr. Shea.
I'm in favor of including somebody from the school for sure. There are gonna be plenty of subcommittee slots where we need lots of committed
Yes.
people with expertise, so it's
From the-
not
for the other
a choice
folks.
between this one slot to be involved or nothing.
Correct.
It's up to you, do you wanna wait? Mike?
Are there any other actions where having that 7th member active by the next meeting would be critical?
Not unless it's a tie vote, but then we can always just table that to the next meeting.
Okay.
Or the meeting after when we have that 7th person. But I'm thinking that since this is a new board, if we specifically ask people from the school systems that are interested to let us know, then we have over the holidays until the 7th to be able to consider.
Yeah, I think that would be my concern, would just be making sure that we leave here with a plan of action,
Yes.
as opposed to getting back here in 2 weeks and
And saying,
kind of
okay,
looking at
now
each
what do
other,
we do?
being like, did anybody express interest? And then,
Yeah.
finding ourselves where we are.
So, I mean, I think the general consensus, but we're all in agreement, though, by the 7th, we do need to appoint that 7th member, for sure.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay. There's so, all right. There's set up a question that, for the town had questions at ellettsville.indiana.gov, for those that were interested in, being appointed for a town position. And what was your email address for
It
the
is,
township?
it's richlandquestions@gmail.com.
Do you want to just use these email addresses and open it up to anybody in the school systems in Richland Township?
Sounds good.
That's who we're looking for specifically.
I do, yes. Obviously, anybody can apply for this.
Right.
But we would like to have a representative of the school district to make sure those interests are heard and protected.
All right. Would any of the public like to comment on this? Okay, seeing none. Darla and Eric, do you think we need to take official action on our thoughts on this, or this, the general consensus of what we're looking for, is that enough? I mean, do we need to take a vote that we're not appointing the 7th today?
No, I think that's fine. Your general consensus on that is
Okay.
fine for this evening.
I would just add, you may want to think about in the coming days whether that 7th member would have any roles or responsibilities, such as, is that going to be your presiding officer? Is that ultimately going to be some kind of quasi-administrative function. So you may think about whether that individual's responsibilities may be different or the same as the other.
So in other words, they're not here, so let's assign them.
There's a secretary position.
Yes.
Yeah. So you might think about that. I'm not necessarily recommending that.
No,
You might think
okay.
about that.
And that would be good if they have, if they kind of, if they're interested, I mean, I think that would be good if they're kind of the chair. That way, all our members, it's not like the town appointee's a chair or the township appointment's a chair. It would be an independent. How do you guys feel about that?
That's a good idea.
If the person's willing to do it.
Yeah, if the person, yes, obviously.
And that was a model as we believe in Sheridan.
Right, that's what I thought, I just wasn't sure what they called it, president, chair, or whatever.
The joint appointment.
Yes, yes,
So the person just needs to be under this understanding that if they are willing to take it, that is.
the
their-
expectation,
their- Yeah.
okay. So again, if you're interested, and we're specifically looking for, members of the school systems in Richland Township, but that does not mean others cannot apply because there's gonna be so many subcommittees. I can almost safely say most people we're gonna find slots for, but either email us at questions@ellettsville.indiana.gov or,
richlandquestions@gmail.com.
and one question is, that we've had, is do we need our own separate email addresses for this? I think it'd be best practices for public records requests, wouldn't it?
Likely so, yes.
Okay.
If you could set those up, that would certainly make things easier down the road.
What's the thoughts on everybody just doing a Gmail address or something instead of anything else will cost either the town or the township? Which ultimately means it costs the taxpayer, so I'm just thinking,
So just pick a convention and each of us gets a Gmail account.
what do you, yeah.
Okay. That's
And
fine.
we could even do shared documents on a Google Drive, which of course would be open to public access, disclosure and everything, so. But that way, both the town and the township are not like, who do we contact for this, who do we contact for that? There's one point of information for everyone. Sound good to everyone? All right.
And I would recommend, when you send out the agenda, list all the board members with their Gmail
Yes.
accounts on it.
Absolutely. Now, one thing Sheridan did that I would love to do, but it's turning out to be a lot more cost prohibitive than I originally thought, was they had postcards mailed out 2 weeks before all their meetings.
That's a lot of mail.
What's that?
That's a lot of mail.
Yes, it is. And what was the quote? We got like $12,000 per mailing or something?
I heard 10, but
Okay.
12's probably a good number.
We do have a list, we finally got it from the clerk for all registered voters in Richland Township. I would like to do that, but understand it's gonna be very cost prohibitive. So I'm really wondering if we should, once we have all these dates, is send out an email with all the dates on them, or not an email, but a postcard, do a one-time thing with that. And if there's any other, I don't know if the public can donate for that or any businesses, I don't know how that would work, either town or township. But I'm really leery of using public funds, that much public funds, especially as tight as we all are, to promote this.
For every meeting.
Right, to every meeting.
Well, I like your idea of sending out one postcard at the beginning, and then maybe you send out another postcard right before you have your public hearings to notify the public that your plan of reorganization is coming up for a public hearing, so.
That still sounds like a lot of money to me.
It will be, yes. So.
I don't know that there's any way to get around that though, to at least, as Darla said, to do two. Because I've talked to several people who live in the township and they're not
No idea.
ever on, they don't have Facebook accounts and they have no idea this is going on.
They don't have
So-
Facebook. That sounds nice.
And in addition to list of meetings, there could obviously be web addresses or other opportunities
Absolutely.
Right, so
to
that way they know where to go.
We can
to
put a
get-
QR
bookmark
code or
information,
something.
sign
Right.
up for email distribution lists, that sort of thing.
Mike, is the town, and with the attorneys, is there any problem with the town utilities putting that for the water bills?
I was gonna recommend that. It won't get everybody because
No.
some of the township is served by, served by two other water companies. We might look to them and see if they have a message board, but we do have a message board on our bill, and we can put some ancillary information on there as well.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Is that high enough visibility to actually accomplish certainly what we want?
Well, that would, I think, be in addition to
Okay.
the postcards, that's my understanding. Want to see if the public has any suggestions? Now, this is something where we really need the public to offer suggestions, because we don't know what we don't know. Anybody have some suggestions for how we can get, because we definitely want everyone to be able to chime in on this and have their voices heard for the main meetings, but also importantly, the subcommittee meetings, which we haven't even touched yet on that. So does anybody want to give some suggestions on visibility on how we can get this message out?
Yes.
There is a website.
If you can come up to the podium, please. That way it's on the record.
Sure. Number one, if you're on Facebook, there's what's happening in Ellettsville. You could use that. That's free of charge. There's also emails you can use. It's called Next Door. Them are all free. I don't think you'd be charged for them. Use them.
They don't charge for those, and we will, if you could put your name and sign in there too.
Oh.
That's and we will definitely, one of the plans and what we were doing even to promote this meeting, I don't think next door, but we definitely did on Facebook and the Ellettsville groups. But as it was pointed out, some people, they're not online. So we'll need to figure out for that too. All right, but thank you.
Hi. I hesitate to have us think about putting all our eggs in social media baskets.
Right.
And so I do think that to do at least one postcard is worth every penny we have to put in it, because it says this is official. And we all know that when we're on social media, yes, I heard that, we have to separate truth, fiction, and rumor. Secondly, is it possible to do a flyer and just have it disseminated through mailboxes? You know, if with kids or a volunteer group to just go through and stuff. I mean, I know that that's a federal box, but I wonder if that's an option as well. And that would not be that expensive, because I'm sure that we have philanthropics who would be willing to help. I like the idea of having a unified email, and I do agree that you don't want to cost a lot of money. But I sometimes wonder if that Gmail does not insinuate that it is an official email. So if I want to send you something, do I still want to send it to the town council and to the Richland board, or am I going to feel that Gmail's good enough? I just might want to think about the quality. Okay. We do want this to be a very quality thing.
And professional. Okay.
If I may. So with the emails, we have an IT person, and we could probably look to them and see what kind of emails we could get for the Reorganization Committee. It would be secure, and it would be under all the security protocols that we currently use for Ellettsville. So if you want me to look into it, I can.
I would appreciate you looking into that. I would rather have emails about this business be sent from governmental email addresses
I agree.
than Gmail accounts.
And I'll
if
see how
possible.
to incorporate the township see what he can come up with, so they realize it's coming from both the township and the town. And then when it comes to the mailers, if I could be so bold, we do have money in ED for economic development, and so I think some of the money, if not all the money, could come from that. I do think that everybody should get something sent to their door at least once
Absolutely.
or twice, and it would be worth the money as.
And I'll be
as
knocking doors on
pointed-
this.
Pointed out, so at some point, as a committee, you probably ought to be talking about how you might share some of the costs. That's something you guys need to talk about, but I do think from the town standpoint, the lit ED money that we've been saving all this time is now, we found something we need to spend it on, so.
And also the public relation folks, if they would have recommendations of how it's worked in the past.
Yeah.
And let's talk with Sheridan and the other places and see
Yep.
what.
Yeah, Victoria's in the audience tonight too, so.
Victoria?
If you have.
Stand up and say a little bit about yourself.
Well, we got somebody at the podium right now.
I'm kidding.
I was just gonna say real quick, if you're depending on Gmail or emails to send out to people, if you're gonna be sending it to hundreds of people, it's gonna go to spam. So most people aren't gonna, I don't ever check my spam unless somebody says, hey, check your spam. The physical mailer, I mean, I wouldn't even know about any of this if it hadn't just trickled down through the grapevine saying, hey, did you know about this going on? And there's been no notification. I'm with Dawn. 3/4 of the people I talk to in the township have no clue that this is even a consideration. So just, I think
Absolutely.
you're opening yourselves up for a lot of heated debate if decisions are made and people are saying, I didn't get notified, so, and I'm sure that's.
We're definitely trying to avoid that.
So-
I don't think we're planning to do email blasts to people. That's not, I think we're just talking about having emails for us, yes. But I'm sorry, Scott.
No, I think the sooner that we get the postcard or the mailer out, the better. I mean, I dare say that there are plenty of people in Richland Township who don't know they're in Richland Township. I've talked to some folks about this, neighbors, and they're like, well, that doesn't really affect me, right? And I said, well, it affects people all the way down to 43 practically. So I think that's gonna, I'm echo what the comment that was just made. The further this goes without everybody at least feeling like they saw something about it, the more likely, we're gonna have a lot of upset people, regardless of
Right.
ultimately the direction that it goes.
Tori?
This seems good a time as any to introduce myself. I'm Victoria Fields. I represent Fields & Co. So we have been working with the town of Ellettsville for about 6-8 months on some of the rebranding work and now supporting communications. And I think some of the questions that we've had is how we can help support the reorganization process, where that feels appropriate. We would be more than happy to help with a communications plan around this effort. Mike and I have been talking about that already. So trying to figure out where there are opportunities for physical signage. I think that'll be a really important one in addition to some of the other things that are not just on social media. So we're happy to put that together, especially like perhaps before the next meeting, some ways that we feel like we can try to reach people.
I think that would be great to see a plan.
I agree.
Should say anybody object to that?
Okay.
All right.
I'll make sure that everybody has access to Victoria's email as well, so everybody can talk without having to go through me.
All right, so any other public like to talk about ways to get the message out? Because if your neighbor doesn't know we're doing this, we need to do something more. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. We want an informed public's the best public. Okay. All right, seeing none, what was the next topic?
You answered one question. If you plan to meet in this room, which is where the town council meets, then you are required to live stream your meetings. So that takes that out of the mix.
Okay.
You'll have to decide if you want to put it on Cats or if there's some alternative platform you want to use, but they have to be live streamed.
Does it default to CAS?
We have to make an appointment with them.
Yes, you have,
We
we
have to
have a
schedule it.
contract with them, so.
So we might just do Zoom. Can Cats upload the Zoom as the meeting, do you know? Noelle's shaking her head yes, so.
Okay, thanks.
And do we have a town Zoom or township Zoom we can use to record? No? Okay. What about town? Is there any problems using the one we use for the council? Is that a specific Zoom just for the council?
I don't see any reason why we couldn't use it. This
Okay,
is-
I didn't know if there's any legal
Yeah, I don't-
issues that,
I don't see a problem with
Okay.
using it, but.
okay. Zoom sound good to everybody else? Good.
In terms of ease of access, would that mean that all of these meeting recordings were intermixed with a whole bunch of other recordings from other boards and things in the same channel?
No, well, on cats, it probably would not.
Okay.
But that's a good question.
Certainly, having tried to find recordings from specific meetings in the past myself, having some be here and some on this channel and all these things intermixed makes it pretty cumbersome to find the specific thing I'm looking for.
So what if we had a YouTube channel just for this? Is that something that's?
I'd like to, I just don't know I don't have the know-how to do it.
The office manager of the township does, because she set one up for us.
Well, if you think she'd be willing to do, I'd love that. That way
See if she
people have a
can-
one-stop shop to see all these meetings.
Yeah, that way they, like Andrew said, they don't have to sort through different things to try to find just our meetings.
I'd be in favor of one stop to find all these meetings in order on a single channel, if possible.
That sound good to everybody?
Can't believe people would volunteer for that, but.
Well, I think she volunteered.
Well, I'm gonna ask her. And, you know, I don't know that she can come to the meetings, but
The worst she
maybe
can-
if she can tell me what to do.
Yes.
We can.
And we can work
take
with the
care
town to set up, log into Zoom here to record with our owl, which goes back and forth to each person.
Cool.
All right, so next on our
Public comment,
public comment,
or do you want to think about it?
as in what the rules for public comment
Yep.
is.
I definitely want to see public comment. I want to know what everyone is thinking, but I do think that we need to have a time limit.
Just about everything is 5 minutes, isn't it? No longer than 5 minutes.
I think we've limited to three,
was
but
gonna
I
say,
think that,
three is
Three.
is pretty common.
but I could go either way.
We can amend that rule at any point if
Yeah.
we want.
Yes,
Okay. I'm in favor of public comment at every meeting, and I would rather see the limit set at 5 minutes for these initial meetings, because there's going to be more open-ended questions about what's
Yes.
involved, and I do not ever want to give the impression that we are clocking people and cutting them off early on in this
Correct.
process.
one thing I'm a stickler with public comment is.
Civility.
What's that?
Civility.
Civility, but also this, what I don't want and I hate is public boards. The public pours their heart out, offers a bunch of suggestions, and they sit there like zones. Thank you for your comment. Basically, sit down and shut up. I don't run that way. If people ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. As long as it's not a loaded, gotcha question, a civil question. Because the public comes to these not just to give their opinion, but to find out information. And I think it's very disingenuous of elected boards, and I'm so glad we don't do this as a council or any of the boards I serve on from Ellettsville, to just listen to people, have valid concerns, and not address those concerns. So I think that in that time, if in our response, like you said, we may have to extend it. If we're giving a long answer, I don't want to pull that away from the public comment. But is everybody comfortable?
Yeah, I concur.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, I would just add that some boards take public comment at the top of the meeting, others take it at the end of the meeting. What's the will of the committee, the beginning or the end?
I always have liked it at the end, let them see, we lay everything out. If you do it in the beginning, then 9 times out of 10, they want to do it at the end also.
Right.
I
I
agree.
think at the end, but also I think there's certain times when we want to call for public comment, like if we're deciding what
Yeah,
subcommittees
that's a
or
good
something,
idea.
but that gives us the
Latitude.
latitude to do that. Or before any vote, maybe, so. Okay, so that probably would need a vote, wouldn't it?
You mean now?
Yeah. Public, are you,
It won't hurt.
okay. It's better to dot too many i's and cross too many t's than, all right.
I move that we have public comment at every meeting, at the end of the meeting, with 5 minutes of time allocated for each speaker. Board to have discretion to request public comment at any time during the meeting.
I'll second.
Mike?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Kevin?
Yes.
William?
Yes.
Dawn?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Next on our,
At some point, it doesn't have to be this evening, but at a meeting in the near future, you will have to start thinking about who you want to serve on your subcommittees. So you're going to have several: planning and zoning, public safety, which is going to include police, fire, ambulance service, streets, roads, all those types of subjects. Yep.
okay, I think,
That'd be a good second meeting.
yeah, on the second meeting, when we appoint that 7th member, I think that'd be a good one to get these subcommittees all. And if there's, we can do additional subcommittees also, correct?
Sure, I think
Okay.
you can do
Yeah.
what you want,
Okay.
whatever the board's pleasure is.
What we don't want to do is have this reorganization go through in January 1st and say, oops, we forgot something. So if there's something we don't know, we need to know. I guess, should we have asked the public about public comment?
And you certainly want to be sure to cover all the services that are provided by, of course, the town and the township.
Right.
So poor relief, cemetery maintenance, those types of things that aren't typically taken care of by the town,
Right,
and vice versa.
because we have to have a plan for them.
William, you just asked if we should have asked for public comment about the public comment policy.
Yes.
Should we ask for that now before the meeting closes?
Yes, I think we should.
If somebody wants
I
to say
think,
something.
come on up here and. Because that'd be ironic.
But I don't move very fast anymore.
We're in no hurry.
Mr.
We're here for
Parrish.
you. Take your time.
I just think it'd be funny. People say, you didn't give any public comment on your public comment policy. So we may reopen the vote.
Give you a chance to catch your breath. Jim Perry, town of Ellettsville. I've been to many local government meetings over the years. I dislike our 3-minute rule. I find that offensive. Partly because I'm often, when I get up to make a comment, I'm reminded before I get to the podium, by the way, you only have 3 minutes. And I also dislike reserving the public comment to the end. And this is a group that's going to be preparing something for the voters. And this is a much larger group than you have at a town meeting.
Absolutely.
And I think there's interest, but I think the interest is going to wane quickly if you move the public comment to the end of the meeting. So I was prepared, although I have other things I do, but to sort of prepare a list of things that I find useful for generating sort of public interaction, public comment. But I certainly think 5 minutes makes more sense than 3, particularly given some of the issues you need to confront here. And I also think it makes more sense at the beginning of the meeting rather than at the end. Because if you want public comment, you want to put the public first. And I lost,
It's back up.
yeah, public first rather than the public last. Because it's sort of I find when I get up at the end of or I'm asked to comment at the end of the meeting, all the sort of the important deliberations are already finished. And I find that to be difficult for real meaningful public comment. And I've chaired budget committees. I've been on a finance commission for towns much bigger than Ellettsville. And I was an intern, a public intern, city intern, going back to 1978. So it's not like this is my first rodeo. But I've sort of observed it over the years. And I know some local governments get great public input. The public input in the town of Ellettsville is pretty poor. And partly, I think, related to your rules that I think send subtle messages, but real messages to the public. So that's my comment.
What do you guys think about having public comment both at bookend the meetings? Have it at the beginning and the end? Let's hear some more from the public and then we can discuss.
I thought I heard you say you were going to ask for public opinion during the meeting as well, if you had a particular interest. So I think in the long run it's covered. I've been reading the Sheridan Plan to do my homework, to be fairly informed. But one thing I would like to see is when I talk to people, I'm a business owner in Ellettsville, but I'm a township resident. And when I talk to people in the township who I have contact with, they say, I think you made the comment, they don't even know they're in the township. Is there any way that we could get perhaps a definitive map that's easily seen or handled or acquired?
Can we post
I was
that here?
trying to pick one up online, resolution wasn't real good, whatever. And that's the one thing I thought was a mistake in the Sheridan Plan of some of their things when I went back to their town. Not just the handout, but when I went back to theirs was, I'd like to see more of that visual. I'm a visual person, so maybe
Okay.
that's why. Thank you.
That sounds reasonable. I mean, on our, we can have a website or something. Well, go ahead.
I honestly don't know. I have been on the township website quite a bit, and I don't believe that there is a map, but I think that would be a perfect place for us to put that. So I will talk to the trustee about getting that put on.
You can actually Google and ask for Richland Township limits, and it provides the map I have here.
Okay.
It's pretty definitive too.
Just about anything you can get now is a map.
It's just a matter of finding
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But you said, where am I?
Well, if you Google
Earth.
Richland Township, Monroe County, Indiana,
Could
and
you
then
sit forward
put
closer to your mic when you speak?
boundaries, it'll bring up the boundaries.
And if you look at your specific property, if it ends in 11 or 13, you're in Richland Township. 11 being in the township area, 13 being just in the town of Ellettsville.
Is that on GIS?
Also 18.
What's that?
18 and 13. 18
Oh,
and 13.
well, 18 is
Yeah.
Bean Blossom.
Ellettsville.
Yeah, it's Ellettsville Town. That is correct. Yeah.
So 11, 13, and 18?
18, yes. I forgot the 18s have snuck in there.
So back to the question of public comment at the beginning of meetings. I'm in favor of deliberately doing whatever we can to encourage the highest quality public engagement possible. And so, as the secretary, apparently, I'm gonna be working hard to get the meeting minutes out quickly and make it so that we can have a detailed and thorough agenda as far in advance of each next meeting as possible, so the public has time to ask the individual members questions, to do research, to compare the agenda with previous items in the Sheridan Plan, and come to the meeting informed. I understand the value of comment before the meeting. The only reservation I have is that sometimes it can dislocate the agenda by initial public comment, pulling items from later in the agenda forward into immediate discussion. I'm not opposed to comment at the beginning of the meeting. I was curious, do you have any thoughts on how to make those opening comments as productive as possible?
Offhand, I don't.
Okay.
One thing I will say that I searched very diligently yesterday for the Richland Township budget, and I could not find it. Although if I wanted the Richland Township of Pennsylvania, I could find it, but there are a lot of Richland Townships. So Googling Richland Township doesn't get you where you want to be. And it would be useful to know what monies are being spent in the township, so that we, can think about convergence between the town and the township, and maybe where they can, support one another properly. But unless there's sort of clear budgets that are articulated for both jurisdictions, it's pretty hard to have a conversation.
The township does have a published budget. It is on the State of Indiana Gateway website.
Yeah, and the Gateway website is very shoddy, because you pick up about 3 different gateways, and the information on the first page of the gateway is lousy.
Yeah,
does
you,
not
you do
serve.
have to figure out how to navigate it,
Yeah,
because
right,
I've been on there,
So
yes.
if you want to discourage public input, tell them to go to the gateway, because it'll get you nothing.
I can only do so much. I'm a board member, I'm not the trustee.
We can look at finding a better way of getting the budgets in one area for the reorganization committee. I don't know how easy that will be though, and I don't want to let the perfect get in the way of the good.
But I assume that none of us want to be individually answering and re-answering the same questions repeatedly.
Correct.
So it's in our interest,
Right.
as much as we can, collect publicly available
Yep.
information and provide
Put it in
either
one
links
place.
to it or screenshots, like, this is where we're getting our information, this is where you can get the same information we're getting.
Because we might just need to link to the
I
budget.
was gonna say, we can probably get a link on the township website that will take you straight to what, the township budget. I can look into that. I will do my best to get that done, and if it's not an easy thing, then I will do my best to get it so that it is easily found.
Yeah, the first page of the first page I went to was the township website, but I didn't get satisfaction that I could get the budget there, so.
Right.
Getting a link there would be helpful.
Okay.
There's also the local government, it goes by the acronym LG.
DLGF, Department of Local Government
Department of
Finance.
Local Government Finance, yeah. And maybe they have some clarity, but I don't know.
I think that's under the Gateway portal. I think that's who operates the Gateway
Yeah.
portal.
I agree.
They obviously don't want anybody looking carefully at the budget.
No, government wanting to hide what it's doing with money, unheard of.
Shock face.
It takes quite some time to find exactly what you're looking for on there, that is for sure.
All right. Other things we need to,
Well, did you want to revisit when you
Oh.
wanted to do the question?
yeah, do we want to revisit the,
The thing about doing it at the beginning is that's a shotgun approach, and if you've got 7 different items, if you're doing a menu approach and they shotgun that and you never know, you get to the,
they're bringing things from the agenda that we haven't even discussed yet.
and it's not in order.
Right.
So if you wanted to do it at the beginning, do it at the beginning of each one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or do it before
Or
any,
does that make sense?
what we do at the councils before any votes.
That's what
are
I was
made.
gonna recommend is after discussion, so that they know what's upcoming, because they may be asking a question that we will be able to answer in our discussion, that we have up here.
So any,
Feedback.
yeah, I think before we make any votes, anything binding, maybe that's when we'd solicit the public opinion, public comment.
And it could change.
Yeah.
Well, the
We'll do
nice
it
thing
maybe.
is, we can adjust it later if we want.
Right.
I'm in
Right.
favor of, I'm in favor of putting in some slot for public comment at the beginning of the meeting. So if someone really wants to speak, then maybe they can't even stay till the end of the meeting. Maybe they have a schedule conflict.
That's true.
We want to make sure that they have the
That's a good
opportunity
point.
to be heard, but we can also say,
I'm good
we
with that.
will be asking for comment before a vote on this agenda item and before a vote on this agenda item. So if they have a particular item they want to speak on, we can let them know at the beginning of the meeting, we intend for public comment on
I
this.
love
and
that.
this. Yes.
Yeah, you asked, I think maybe framing some specific questions at the outset of the meeting. Because, I sent some questions in yesterday.
To whom did you send them?
We,
I sent them
that's
to
what
the
we have here.
site.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And, there are some fundamental things that need to be discussed early on. I still have not seen, for instance, someone make and I looked at the AIM website. And AIM is the acronym for Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, which used to be the Indiana Association of State, County and State Governments. But they have a very useful summary, executive summary, and then discussion of the legislation. But there are lots of still unknowns. But one of the issues I've not seen addressed anywhere is what are the fiscal consequences of Senate Bill 1?
We
Or,
don't-
you know,
we don't know those
particularly in terms
exactly
of,
yet.
The township or the town. And without that information, it's pretty hard to frame a plan to respond to the legislation that was passed.
Mike, can you address that?
Well, Senate Bill 1, as it relates to the town's finances, we have Baker Tilly, who is our accountant that's taken care of us for a few decades. They've walked us through the process, and we know what the outcome will be by 2028. And it's nothing but negative. I don't know that we want to go through it all right now. If you this is something we're going to have to talk about at some point. Every once in a while, a citizen should be able to come in and talk to somebody about this whole process and be able to get a one-on-one and ask individual questions so they can come prepared to the meetings. And so the information is there, but in a nutshell, our budgets for the next couple of years are going to be flat. There's no raises. We've not been able to rehire safety people we have now. And with that said, in 2028, we'll be $500,000 in the red no matter what we do. The state has set us up to fail. And so this is one of the reasons we're looking at reorganization. Reorganization itself won't create a windfall of money, but it is a way to stabilize the situation, and it's exactly what the state wants us to do.
I'd like to see the bottom line on it though, Mike.
I'd be glad to show you the bottom line.
And I think the subcommittees,
I would like to see sort of the fiscal I think the fiscal analysis has to be part of this.
that is one of the things this,
Deliberations rather than sort of generalizations like it's negative, because it's not
Right.
negative for the people who are getting the property tax break.
yeah, Mr. Perry, the subcommittees will be, when the plan is put to us, I don't think it'll go 10 years out, but the financial impacts will be part of that plan, correct?
Yes.
Because we have to have some type of fiscal plan when this is submitted for approval of both councils. So this,
We might be able to publicly send that to you, the analysis, if you will. It won't be, you won't get every nut and bolt that's involved in the analysis, but we can send it to you, and it's, like I said, it's a negative. It's positive for the property owners now, but the intent of the state is for the towns to recoup some of that money through local income tax. And so it's pretty complicated, and we can send you the information, but
Yeah, I'd be happy to get the information, because I
Okay.
haven't seen it yet.
all right,
okay.
Do we need to go back and amend our motion on public comment at meetings?
I don't think it will hurt to amend it.
Okay, I move that we amend the motion to have public comment at the beginning and end of every meeting with a 5-minute time limit, and the board to have discretion to request additional comment at any time during the meeting.
Second,
Mike?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Kevin? William?
yes.
Dawn?
We have somebody who is wanting to make some public comment.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I did not see you.
My name is Clark Greiner. I'm with the Bloomington Economic Development Corporation. I come to a lot of public meetings. The one thing that I'd strongly encourage you is to have a certain amount of protocol, procedures, and decorum with this, because let's do the math really quick here. You're going from 7,000 people to 22,000 people are going to be included in that. If you have 50 people show up, whether it's in favor or against, they all wish to speak, that's 250 minutes. 250 minutes divided by 60 is over that's over 4 hours of public comments that you are ready for. So I would encourage you to say everyone has to come to the mic, right? No talking from the audience. Number two, a certain amount of civility has to be required, but I would keep it very structured because of the size and the magnitude of this. If it's too loose in the front, then it's going to be very, very difficult to address all those questions, and you'll exhaust the meeting, and you'll lose as many people on that side of it from what would seem to maybe be less organized than it would be as if you have specific topics you want to talk about and cover those. And so I would just offer that from an exercise of caution and think through that strategically, because the important side of this too is also to make sure you're getting the message out and that all parties get heard, whether you're in for or against. So I'd just really encourage you to think about some of those things when you're thinking about addressing the public in a greater way, because this is very important for everybody here.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't want to burn the public out.
No. I think it's important too that questions or comments, a question should not take 3 minutes to get to the question. I mean, honestly, that if you're making a comment, give the information in the background, but some people say, I'm just asking a question, and 10 minutes later, you still don't know what the question are. I'm not saying that will happen here, but I've seen it in other places. So I think that's just something we're gonna have to monitor ongoing. That's just my
Clark, I
thought.
appreciate your input, thank you. I don't wanna burn the public out or burn the board out. I do wanna make sure that we have the most open approach possible when we begin, and then see how it goes. If we had 150 people in this room all of a sudden, that one meeting might be really difficult to get through, but I don't want to close off the option until we see who and how many people start attending the meetings. That might be bad.
And with all of the subcommittees, and any of those happening simultaneously and bringing all that information all at one time, all of this is new. It's just gonna have to be played by ear. I'm really, really excited about finding out how other people handled it. You know, the other folks that have done this, whatever the outcome was, how they handled it, especially the fact-finding part of it. You know, how'd they handle the meetings? And I'm sure it changed. I'd love to see 50 people out there.
I know. I love this. I love seeing all these people.
I've seen it before, but it was.
But usually it's not a.
It's not a good thing. Usually it's a bad thing. Yeah.
What did we do now?
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a vote, though.
We were in the middle of a roll vote.
So.
Do we want to resume from the top on that? Mike was a yes, I was a yes, Kevin was a yes, William was a yes, Dawn?
Yes.
Yes, and Scott?
Yes.
Knowing that if we find that it makes the meetings too long or unruly, we can amend.
We can amend it.
Yes.
Change it later. Okay.
Correct. We don't want the public to think they have to stick around till midnight to make a comment. All right, any other?
I do want to say that in the beginning, when we were talking about making this board, I was in contact with Michelle Junkins. She was the former trustee of Adams Township and now works for the town of Sheridan in the same capacity. And I did set up a meeting for, I went with the attorneys and the town council members and the trustee board members just to get a date between them and us what would work. So I do have a date of January 9th at 2:30. We will be meeting. Whoever would like to go as from this board, we do have a meeting with them on that day.
Are we going up there?
And we are
Okay.
going up there.
You're gonna try to carpool?
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense for all of us to drive that far.
I agree.
But that
Okay.
way, and she's going to have.
Cy will be there too, right?
Yes, Cy, there will be.
He's the council president from Sheridan that I've spoken with on this.
And her as the trustee in both positions, and I think there's going to be maybe a couple of a board member and council member. And she did say that if we want future meetings with public safety and their different people, that would be an option too.
Well, I wanna go.
So, yeah, definitely. All right, so, and I don't think we have anything else do we need to elect a president and, we have a public comment?
Why don't we wait until we get to 7?
I think, yeah,
The seventh member.
That's kinda what
Person that,
that's what I,
in that
yeah.
role, so.
Hello, I'm Liz Vidal. I'm also County Counsel at Large here in Monroe County. But I also kept thinking about, I heard everything and I wanted to see if I made a list here, so I only have 2 things. And so I wondered if working with the county's GIS department would be helpful in working with you to get maps.
Yeah, I can reach out to Tron.
I think they would be very useful. And then as far as disseminating information, postcards are great, but I also, I come from a long time ago, and so billboards were pretty effective. They go up, you control the message, there's no misunderstanding what it says because you control the message, and all of that. So that's a 24/7 advertisement. So if you could put something up about meeting, whatever you're doing the first and the third Wednesdays, whatever the time is, where it is, who to
That's a good
contact,
idea.
just some kind of simple information and maybe websites where they can get information, or, you can get quite a bit on a billboard. So I think billboards are a good bang for the buck. I always have. And you have plenty of them going up and
Yes,
down
we do.
46 here. So it seems, and then you would have people begin to talk about it. Did you see it on the billboard? That kind of thing. So I think that would be useful. Those are my 2 suggestions out of what
Awesome.
I've heard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here tonight.
I do have a question. It has been said that it's every other week, but it's also been said that it's the first and the third Wednesday,
Oh,
which
yes.
does not exactly align with every other week.
Right.
Let's just do every other week.
I think every
Yeah.
other week is, okay.
And if we have to adjust for a BZA meeting, we'll do that.
There you go.
Yes, every other week.
It works out twice a month until April. Well, I think
That's
that's-
starting January 7th.
Starting January 7th, correct?
At 6.
At 6.
6.
Not here.
So
Here.
we voted on that, we need to amend that. We voted first and third Wednesday of each month. Now we want every other Wednesday starting January 7th.
That's what I'd say.
We can either do that or wait for the 7th member to come in. And that way they have something to vote on. We have to keep in mind for the next meeting, I would recommend that we start getting names from both the township and the town people and the public. I want the public to start submitting, just if you want to be part of this process, and list kind of what your area of expertise is, because we will need to start these subcommittees. We're going to need to appoint them pretty quick and get them up and running fast. I don't want the next meeting to say, well, we'll do the subcommittees the next meeting. We really don't want to get this tied up in the process. So I would suggest that we have a great pool of names to go through as a council. And that way we can, when we're talking about with the subcommittees, we can go ahead and start recommending people to those subcommittees. Thoughts?
I'm in favor of getting the subcommittees
Going
set up as soon as,
yeah.
as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it would be good, when we're posting in the Ellettsville High Neighbor and whatever we can put on the township and the town regarding our next meeting, is that, we're looking for, these are at least our current subcommittees that we're thinking about having, and if you have any expertise in those areas, that we would like for you to.
And that's one
apply.
question that was asked to me. Do we want to limit this just to Richland Township residents?
Yes.
I think so.
I think so too, because they're the ones that,
They're gonna be affected by
Okay.
it. I don't, it's, I don't think that people who don't live here should have,
okay.
No dog in the fight.
right.
How big are we thinking about the subcommittees needing to be? I mean,
Good
obviously,
question.
if each subcommittee had 7 people versus 3 people,
I think
that'd
they
be a
have,
different
how many,
order of
do you remember the subcommittees? Was it 5 that they had?
I don't remember for Sheridan, I can find out.
Okay.
The number of
Okay.
subcommittees, there were 6 subcommittees. I don't know how many people were on each committee, if that's what you were
Do you
asking.
know, Mike?
Well, you're gonna need them for land use, planning, safety, police,
I know,
fire.
but we're talking about how many members per
Oh,
subcommittee.
how many actual members?
Right.
have no
I don't recall seeing that in the
I don't
plan.
agree.
I can find out.
Okay. We'll just try to mirror that, and again, we can adjust that. And with the subcommittees, if, again, this is my thought, is if we decide on the subcommittees and then find out the next meeting, oh darn, there's another one we hadn't thought about, we reserve the right to, it's not like they all have to be done at the same time.
Right.
I mean, you guys all agree to that?
Right.
If there's,
Because we might find out when we go, our meeting is gonna be on the 7th, and so our meeting with Sheridan's on the 9th. We might
Right.
find out that there's something else that would be good.
I think we covered everything we need to legally tonight, is that correct?
Pretty much. The other topic you might think about is how much assistance you want from either Eric or I or both of us and from Baker Tilly. If you intend to use Baker Tilly to help prepare your report that has to be filed with the DLGF. How often you want us or them to attend meetings. It may not be every meeting, it may be every meeting, but just think about what you would like to see from us.
I'd say wait until we got more facts.
Yeah, until, are there any statutory subcommittees that we have to appoint? Are those just recommendations that?
I think those are recommendations.
Okay.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
there are certain things.
It would make sense. I mean, why would you not do a road, or public works? But I don't want for us to miss one and then find out right before the process is done, we've not legally. The process seems pretty open-ended, doesn't it?
I think the legislature left it open for you to have wide discretion
Okay.
in how this is handled.
So on the topic of attorney representation, do we need them at our next meeting? Do we want to have them 1, 2, both, single? I don't know how we want to do that.
I don't know how we would do it without both.
What's that?
I don't know how we would do it without both.
I just think it looks better with both, because both township residents know they have the attorney for the township board there, and the town knows we have our attorney there.
I think, and I think something that might be useful, if others agree, especially once we have the 7th person identified, would be to have perhaps a short training, a presentation of the process and the overview, because different people have become aware of this and engage with it at different times. I'm guessing that the 7th person may be even less aware of the overall
Right.
process, so just to help us to be on the same page in terms of the process, procedures, how we're moving forward, and I think that would be useful for the public as well. So
Does
that-
everyone on this committee have a draft of a copy of the Sheridan-Adams merger plan? No. Okay.
I'll
So-
send it to you.
All right. Because I think that's crucial to kind of,
You can email it to them, and I have hard copies in my truck.
all right.
Back to the question of when we meet. You had said earlier that you would like to have a postcard go out before the next meeting. That postcard cannot include our schedule if we don't set the schedule.
That is correct.
Okay.
So
We need to vote on
every 2
amending
weeks.
that to be able.
I'll move to amend the meeting schedule that it will now be every 2 weeks, starting January 7th.
I'll second.
Okay, let me scroll back up. Every 2 weeks.
You're gonna have to get some more room there.
All right, Mike. Yes. Me, yes. Kevin,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mike, for the first postcard at least, with our meeting schedule, do you think there would be, I mean, we'll have to bring it up to the town council, obviously, but does the town have the funds to do that? 'Cause-
We did.
Okay. Because we'll have to do that, like, the turnaround time's gotta be quick.
Now, when you say you have the funds to do that, are you talking you have the funds once, or you have the funds twice, or
Pretty sure we can make it twice. if we need
twice?
to.
Okay.
And at some point, we need to talk about costs incurred until the end of this. It won't be a small amount of money.
The second mailing was not going to be needed until later in the process, though. if we
That's
did the
correct.
2, so we, okay.
All right. Anything else do you guys think? we need?
Your meeting's gonna start here shortly.
Yep. All right. Well, we have our town council meeting coming up in 10 minutes, so.
Does anybody want to say anything?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I do. Yes.
My name is Pamela Davidson. I've lived in the township probably 45 years. My kids are proud Edgewood graduates. I'm an attorney, but I'm also a fundraiser. And here's what's missing, all of you. I've listened to process, I've listened to procedure. I love that stuff. Eric and I eat that up. But in fundraising, every nonprofit has to have a mission statement. Why are we doing this? And I think this is the missing ingredient. Those of us in the township know that this terrible Senate bill is ripping dollars that are needed from all sorts of public entities. We are well aware of that. And I know this group is saying, oh, the township can help us do this. But what is the mission statement of the merger that benefits both? And I would add to this, because I'm in an area of fundraising called charitable gift planning, and we're all about raising money for endowment in the future. What's the vision? I've said several times on Facebook, gosh, there's lots of empty properties for sale in Ellettsville. There always have been. I've lived here for decades and decades, have never really seen a robust downtown. Thank you, Caffeinated Cook, and some other things that have come around. The library is a fabulous, all those things. But our own backyard, the town of Ellettsville has issues in its own backyard. So those of us in the township said, hey, what's in it for us? Because if you haven't managed your own backyard well, to expand and say, you can help us raise our revenue problems and have this, you're the panacea for our issues. So I would say, what's the vision? Because communication, meetings, all those things are wonderful, but what's the purpose of the merger in terms of the well-being of both entities, and what does the vision hold for making that a better thing than not merging? And I would say you got to start with that, because without that, you really can't go anywhere, because otherwise it's just spin and process. So that's my conclusion thus far, and I'd go back, take a big step backwards and go into that first, because if you can't enumerate it or elucidate it, then you can't convince anybody. So that's my sense thus far.
Have you seen, Pamela, have you seen it's on the Ellettsville page, their website. It doesn't actually say, mission statement or vision, but they have some facts about the overview, the purpose, key benefits, important context, and it does talk about it, having to go through a public referendum. So, but it's on the Ellettsville website.
I will look at that, and I'm glad you pointed that out to me, because that's what I would work on, because you got to make a case for support. Right. That's what we always say in fundraising. What's your case for support?
And I want to temper expectations. This merger will help stabilize the funds for both the township and the town. It's not going to fix the whole. It's just going to help make sure that both are unified together, and we don't have the whole get bigger for each of us. So, I mean, it's one of those things that together we're stronger, and it'll also give more direct representation for everybody in Richland Township. Right now, they have one person that actually represents them that lives in the township, representing their needs. This will give them, not ignoring the township board at all, but they have a very limited control of what they can do. But this is going to give them more direct control of their local government. And I think that more direct control from the public on what they want for their community is always going to be more important than putting it out to someone else, be it in the courthouse, be it in the state house, or be it in DC.
Thank you. I'll look at that document. Thank you.
And we are going to need to adjourn. So, Dawn, would you like to bang the gavel and adjourn? That's my favorite part. All in favor? All right, we're adjourned.